Hello, everybody. So it's never a good sign when someone's at home and talking on YouTube about a hike. So just to cut to the chase, is I'm done for the season. It is August 25th. Yep, today, which is a Sunday. So I did everything that I could to get back on trail. The last thing that I did was I got a new pair of shoes on Monday. Went hiking on Tuesday. My daughter was kind enough to hang out with me. Went and walked 11 and a half miles. And by the end of that, I couldn't walk again. The reason I did that then was because that gave me about a month if I was going to do the Sierras and Kimbo on the trail. Kimbo on the PCT was going to do it with me. But those plans have changed. I'm just not at the place where I can physically do it because of my feet. I will say that with everything that I've been through, I've ruled out permanent injury, stress fractures, all that with orthopedic doctors. I found a fantastic guy. His name is Scott. He's an orthopedist. He's actually a specialized orthopedist. I don't remember his actual title, but his name's Scott. He works out of the Rock Shop. The Reno Orthopedic Clinic is a big clinic here in town, and that's where I found him through Dr. Casanelli. Those guys are great. Scott has committed to helping me um, get back on trail next season, basically. So I actually saw him Friday after I hiked the 11 and a half miles, and he did these like monster orthotics for me in my new shoes. And we're just going to keep trying. The other thing I'm doing for those of you that might want to get in trail shape is stretching. We hear stretching all of our life, and I will tell you, like I thought that I had stretched before, and that's just not true. Scott's actually the one that told me stretch 3 times a day. Do it, focused on your problem area, which for me is ankle, basically the lower legs. But I'm doing that. I've done that for about 15 days now. I missed one time out of all of those, like 3 times a day for those 3 weeks, just because I was out at a dinner. But I've committed to it. I've committed to getting the new shoes and everything else. So Scott was like, if you're willing to put in the work, then I'm willing to do it too. And he's basically with me on this journey to find a way so that I can hike next season. That's the good news. But to summarize all of that, I think it's healthier. Well, I couldn't walk more than about 8 miles a day with a full pack, because that's what I did was 11 and a half miles with a full pack. At 8 miles, I was done. I had to, of course, get back to a road. So I did 11 and a half miles. So summarizing my trip. I started August 2nd at Campo, and I walked 703.8 continuous miles. If you'll remember, when I got to Kennedy Meadows, I was BSing and went about 4/10 of a mile or 5/10 of a mile, half a mile farther than we needed to, and turned around and backtracked to get to Kennedy Meadows. So that's why it's not 703.4, which it shows on a bunch of maps. And then I came home June 10th, at that point I had walked 50 miles on the trail, or 50 days of walking on the trail, and now is at like day 70 total. I'm now at day like 183 as of the last time I hiked, and I've hiked 53 total days. So I didn't count like the 4 miles that when my knee was hurting right after I'd returned home, like I did an out and back for about 4 miles. I didn't count that. So 53 days of hiking. I did another 38.2 miles of the Northern California section. So for those of you that are marking out on the map, and I'll slow down a little bit. So I did 703.8 miles, which was the desert section and the beginning of the Sierra section, if you're referring to the Far Out app. Then I came home and started at I-80, which that rest stop is at mile marker 1158.3. And over those 3 test days where I hiked like 11 or 15 miles and then had to get off because my feet were sore, that totals out to 38.2 miles. So for the 2024 season, I did a total of 742 miles of the PCT. That's even. Which means if the total is 2,653 miles, then I have 1,911 miles left to do. So am I happy with that? And the answer is yes, because 700 miles, 742 is the actual number, is a lot of miles, and I'm really proud that I did that. It's what I wanted to do after I retired, and I have accomplished that goal. Now, I will say that the way I'm built, I like to finish things, and now it's the challenge of finishing this trail. I really don't want to be done forever because of injury. So I am planning on next season, and I kind of have some idea of how I want to tackle this next season. But I will again get a permit, because you get a permit if you're going to plan to hike more than 500 miles in a season. I have 1911. I am planning to finish it in one season, and I'm planning on being healthy enough to do that, which means I have to commit to the next 6, 7, 8 months of stretching continuously. I will be doing shorter hikes, both with friends and with Kathy, who's behind the camera right now. So I'm committed to being out there and getting on the trail next season. So for those of you that have watched me for the PCT, I thank you. I'm humbled by it. I've loved your comments, and it's been a fantastic journey to share with everybody. I did one car camping trip, and I've gotten some feedback on that, which I asked for, and you guys seem to be interested, or some segment of you want to see some car camping. And I am excited to say that that's what is up next. And that was always my plan. At some point I was going to be done with the PCT. I actually was hoping and planning to be completely done with the PCT, meaning I walked all the way to Canada. Not in the cards for me. So next step is to go adventure and see some of the United States. There's a lot of places I want to go. So I'm actually leaving in a couple days, and I'm going to Great Basin National Park, which is on the eastern end of Nevada. And from there, I have no idea where I'm going, but it's going to be a multi-day trip. So if you would like, those are going to be posted. We're probably going to look at like a weekly format on that one. But if you guys want to see some of these things and what I'm doing next, then you're welcome to come along. And with the PCT, I will see you all next season.